Mike Vrabel, home dog. Everybody's like, Cincinnati's back. I don't know if you stayed up late Monday night watching that game, but they're not back.
You're now tuning into
The Cover Gang.
What's going on, Cover Gang? It is week 4 of the NFL season, and me and Justin are both coming off winning weeks. Feels good to be on the winning side of things, right, Justin?
Oh yeah, solid week, 5-1 in our best bets and our double unit plays last week. But I'm a little salty that I didn't win better for the first time. No better since we tied. But I'm still chasing that first title of the year.
I thought after you got that first Thursday night win, you were going to win it this week. But on this episode, we're going to go over each and every game in the 1 o'clock slate, the 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time slate, as well as the first game in London. Should be a pretty good battle over there, Jacksonville and Atlanta. If you want to read off the spreads, me and Justin will give our takes, see if we agree, and get back to a winning week.
Yeah, and I just want to say something I noticed about this week 4 slate, pertaining to the line movement or the lack thereof. There has not been near as much line movement this week since the lines have dropped, and comparing to weeks 1, 2, and 3, it's pretty crazy because, earlier in these past few weeks, there's been 3, 4, 5 point swings and every week. And this week, it's like 80. I've seen several games where 80% of the bets are coming in on one side, and Vegas has not adjusted much, maybe just half a point. So that tells me that Vegas is comfortable where they set these lines, and they're starting to lock it in. And where these bets are being placed early, it's not really a good sign for these early bettors because they're not adjusting much off of it. They're not scared of where they're being placed at 80% of the time. So I don't know.
Yeah, we talked last week or last episode about how it hasn't been many pushes this year. It's like Vegas is setting a lot of these lines at 2.5, 3, 3.5. It's gonna. A lot of these lines are going to touch that 3 number. So maybe we see some.
I think this first game we're about to go over is a push. It's the first push of the
one
year.
in London.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Falcons at Jacksonville. Well, on a neutral site in London over the pond. This was a tough game for me to decide. Both teams coming off pretty nasty losses of over 2 touchdowns or more. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, this is one that I think Vegas nailed. It is. If you look, the public's not really coming in on Jacksonville or Atlanta here, so you can't just fall back to let me fade the public or something like that. I am going to take Jacksonville and swallow the 3 points here. I believe so much in this Trevor Lawrence-driven offense and Doug Peterson to kind of get that team right after we knew Houston had Jacksonville's number, but we didn't know they had their number by that much. That was nasty last week. But yeah, Falcons didn't look too good against Detroit, but Trevor Lawrence and this Jacksonville offense is at least, proven. Ritter and, Bijan's great, and the running game's great, and Arthur Smith, I think he's a good offensive mind. But this Atlanta defense and Desmond Ritter's not proven. So traveling across, it seems like this is Jacksonville's second home. Has been London. They ship off, I guess, some of the worst teams over there, but they're going to be there for 2 weeks. They play Buffalo next week in London as well, so that's kind of crazy. But yeah, give me Jacksonville to cover the 3 points here. And what is like under a unit play for me? Probably 3/4 because half to 3/4 because, like I said, I do think Vegas nailed this line.
Just stick to the half of the full, man. We're not doing quarters because if we're doing quarters, I got a quarter game coming up for you.
Quarter games coming up.
Oh yeah, I bet so. All right. Anyways, all right. So in a game I can't decide, I don't have a good read on. I'm just gonna go with the points. I'm gonna take the Falcons +3. Look, the last 5 games in London have had the favorites going 1-4 against the spread, so I'll lean on that trend if I can't decide anything else. And I think the line's really accurate, and I think these teams are pretty even. I don't see an edge. I'm taking Falcons +3, just regular unit size for me. I don't really love this one at all. But next up, we got the Broncos at the Bears. It's the battle of the dummies. Who's dumb and who's dumber?
Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, who's dumber?
There's no telling this week, but in a matchup like this, I don't know about you, but I'm going with the points. You absolutely have to. You're giving me the hook on an underdog team at home versus another incompetent team who obviously they have some kind of locker room issue or morale problem. To let 70 points fly on the board when that defense was so well known last year for keeping teams under 20 points every game, and then you're going to let 7. I mean, something is just not going on right in that locker room. So the defense in both of these two teams speak for itself on why no one should just bet this game, because no one knows what's about to happen. And I think it's a half unit. If I could, it would be just a no play. But since we pick every game, I'm taking the Bears plus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Half unit on the home team and the points. I'm done with Denver. I say it all the time. I'm just done with them. 70-20 was embarrassing. My mom's a Dolphins fan. She was right. Should have rode the fence. We got that game coming up in Buffalo, so we'll see where I go there. But yeah, I hate this game so much. I'm not gonna watch it. Every touchdown that's scored, every turnover that happens, none of these players are allowed on my fantasy teams this week. It's just I'm done. I'm just half unit. Give me the points. Let's move on.
Next up, we got the Bengals at the Titans. The Bengals narrowly escaped the Rams in that last match. Where you at on this one?
Mike Vrabel, home dog. Everybody's like, Cincinnati's back. I don't know if you stayed up late Monday night watching that game, but they're not back. Joe, he skated by, got by in that game. Him and Jamar Chase got some chemistry going. Good for them, but the offense is very limited. He still got hit a few times. He's still recovering from his calf injury. It's a long season. I still think the Bengals could string together some wins going down the stretch and make it into the playoffs. So, but I do think the Titans have a good chance of winning outright here. They got embarrassed last week, only putting up 3 points against Cleveland. So this is a double unit play for me. Take the points, take the home team, I think this is a good game for Derrick Henry to get going. So yeah, give me the Titans here. Like I said, double unit play.
Yeah, I'm taking the bounce back with the Titans as well. We told you to avoid them last week. Well, now we're telling you to hop back on. You got to know when to flip.
Yep, it's a roller coaster.
I'm not impressed with this Bengals team. They had tons of penalties and could easily be sitting 0-3 right now if a few of those coin flip scenarios don't land their way in that last match. So their offense is struggling. I mean, their defense looked pretty good, but the offense is just still not clicking. So I think there's value on the line at the Titans at home plus 2.5, and I'm taking them to bounce back. You know, last week we had 80% of the bets coming in on the Titans as road dogs. Well, now there's 80% of the bets coming on the Bengals as road favorites. So flip back. We're taking the Titans. Yeah. We love it. Next up.
Yep, 100%.
We got the Ravens at the Browns, the two top dogs of the AFC North in this face-off. Who you got?
I hate to say I told you so. This Browns defense is clicking on all cylinders right now. They are on some historic rate. They haven't played Joe Burrow with a hurt calf and like some bad weather and stuff. This is their biggest test yet, is Lamar Jackson coming into the dog pound. I think this game should be at 3.5 or 4, and it's sitting at 2.5. So give me the Browns. They should be more than a field goal favorite here. The Ravens are still missing a lot of starters on the offensive side of the ball. O-line, I think Odell may be back this week, but I just don't see it making too much of a difference. Like I said, this Browns defense is just clicking right now. And even though I think Lamar's good, I had the Browns winning the division, the preseason. That was with Nick Chubb, but and then the Ravens making a wild card spot. Like this is definitely a game I'm going to be watching. AFC North battle, but yeah, I think this Browns team is still getting overlooked a little bit by Vegas. They should be more than 2.5 point favorites here.
Yeah, the early line movement is pretty telling. This one moved a little bit more than other games. It went from -1.5 to 2.5, and now I'm seeing a 3 as of this recording tonight. We're seeing 3 pop up for the Ravens +3. So I can make an argument for either side in this one. It's tough, but I'm gonna take the Ravens +3 here. Ravens underperformed last game, and the Browns had that blowout victory. It's time to reverse what the public is going to think in this divisional matchup. Ravens keep it close. They're always good as underdogs. I think +3 is pretty good value here, and I think it's what you got to take. I like this Browns team, and we predicted them to do very well, so I hate taking against them. It was a hard one to pick, but I'm going to take the Ravens +3, man.
Yeah, if you're firm on the Ravens side, like I said, I would probably wait a little bit more. I don't know. I could see this getting to 3.5 or 4 where it should be, in my opinion. So, yeah, at the 2.5, at that point, I always say if it's under 3, you just pick on who you think is going to win the game, and I think Cleveland's going to win the game. So, yeah, hopefully Justin Tucker doesn't ruin my pick here, but it's a normal unit size because I do respect the division. I do respect Lamar having a bounce back week. They they had so many turnovers in that loss in overtime to Indianapolis last week, so it was just Indy's game for some reason. But no, this Ravens team is still good. Like I said, I don't think that people are quite as sharp on how good Cleveland is playing right now through and through. So yeah, I feel pretty good. Like I said, it's a normal unit play, but I like taking the small home favorite here.
Next up, we got another marquee matchup of the week. We got the Dolphins, the red hot, streaking to a Tagovailoa-led Dolphins coming into Buffalo. Look, man, this is a big-time game, AFC East division battle to take the lead in this very tough division. I don't know about you, but I think the sharp side in this one is the Bills, and we're going to be on that side fading the Fins. The fans are euphoric after 70 points in that last game on the Denver Dummies, but we're not counting that because 2/3 of the bets are coming in on these road underdog Dolphins, and the line has moved in the Bills' direction. That's called reverse line movement. We love to see that. Let's bring things back back to reality and against this top 5 defense and offense in the Bills. Give me the Bills -2.5. It's moving to 3, so grab it while you can.
So in week 1, I did take Miami +3 to beat the Chargers. I've faded them the past 2 weeks. Been hearing a lot of slack from it. You faded them since the beginning of the season. They're just hot right now. So it's hard to go against the trend. But we're doubling down on the Bills here, -2.5. 100%. This is the sharp side. This is little brother trying to overtake big brother in the division. The Bills offense is playing great. I read a stat the other day. I think it said that Tua through the first 3 weeks has only been pressured 8 times. Like not sacked, just pressured 8 times.
That's about to change in this one.
Yeah, this is definitely the best defense he'll see thus far. Best defensive front. And I like the secondary to not strap up Tyreek Hill, but at least contain him some. So yeah, I think it's definitely one of the better watches. Like this one, along with Cleveland, Baltimore, is the two that I'm going to be watching this 1 o'clock section. But I'm doubling down on the Bills at -2.5. I still think, even though Miami's so hot right now, I still think that the Bills are the better team, offense and defensive side of the ball. So yeah, it's hard. It's going to be, if I get this one wrong, it'll be another "I told you so" week from family members, friends, whatever. But like you said, the public's all over Miami, and the numbers going back Buffalo's way. So that's all you need to know. Double down, Bills.
Love it. Next up, we got the Commanders at the Eagles. Another divisional game, man. Here we go. Commanders got waxed last game. Sam Howell finally showed some flaws in his game pretty badly. I think he got sacked like 9 or 10 times or something insane like that. But that offensive line got worked. So I don't love it, but I'm on the Commanders at +8.5 here because it is the sharp side in this divisional battle. Washington were underdogs to the Eagles last year, and they played them really hard. They always do. This is a gritty matchup between these two teams, and that's just a lot of points to swallow in this kind of matchup. Eagles, just had a great showing on Monday Night Football, so it's all in the public's eye that the Eagles are the greatest team ever again. So I think the sharp side's the Commanders. Who you got?
Yeah, watching the game, they were tied up with the Buccaneers and then ended up, winning pretty handily 25-11. Just that one Jalen Hurts throw for a touchdown, it was like his arm was batted and I don't even know how it got to the receiver, but it did. But yeah, this Eagles offense still doesn't look great, and their secondary has been bad all year. Baker Mayfield wasn't able to expose them like I thought he could. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. 8.5 is a lot of points in a divisional game. I just think that Washington they are pretty good defensively, defensive line, so maybe they can slow down the run some and make Jalen Hurts kind of prove to us that he's what we seen last year. But until that happens, I'm going to rock with the points. It's a regular unit play for me because Washington, maybe we didn't have high expectations for them in the preseason. So they come out 2-0. We take them last week. They get obliterated. Like now everybody's questioning Sam Howell, Eric Bieniemy's call playing, this offensive line, like you're saying, everything else. So, 8.5, you just got to take the points. Yeah, regular unit play. Give me the Commanders.
All right, next up, we got the Bucks at the Saints. Seems like all we're covering is divisional games in this one, but we're talking about the worst or maybe the second worst division in football, the NFC South. I don't have many points on this one, so if you feel strongly about it, like we'll see what you got with this one.
Yeah, this is Jameis Winston revenge game against his old team in Tampa. I think that the Saints defense is a lot better than Philadelphia, honestly. I understand that Philly's D line is good. They can get pressure and they got a lot on Baker Mayfield, but I mean, for him to not pick apart that secondary like what Kirk Cousins did, Mac Jones did, I don't know. So, yeah, I don't. It's another regular unit size play for me because I'm taking the home favorite here, but I'm gonna rock with Jameis Winston as much as I don't like him as a quarterback. I'm gonna take them to cover the 3 points here at home. I just think that it's a roster mismatch as well as Baker was on primetime and he had a chance to show me against a bad secondary like, hey, look, the Bucks are going to be different than what you thought in the preseason, Tyler. No, you weren't. You had Mike Evans did have a few drops in that game, so he bought, a little bit of care because of that or something, but no, I didn't like what I seen Monday night, and I think he's going into a worse situation. He's going on the road and playing a better defense. So give me the Saints to cover the 3 points at home. Regular unit play.
Yeah, the Bucks, they got embarrassed last game, and they've returned to the mean a bit as we would expect. I think the sharp side actually is the Saints in this one. You got 80% of the bets coming in on the road underdog in the Bucks. That's usually not
just because Derek Carr's out. I don't understand why.
Well,
the Saints they dominated Green Bay until Derek Carr went. Is that what they're basing everything off of? Is this that?
I'm not sure what it is, but Bucks with their 2-0 start and they had that good cover. I think people are just overestimating that they had that great start that they can continue, but they played horrible teams. They played the Bears and the Cardinals.
Yeah. Bears, yeah.
So I mean,
no, Bears and the Vikings. They beat the Vikings.
Well, that one's a little bit of a shocker, but they covered for us very well. Their defense is playing pretty good, but I think against actually better teams, this team is going to reverse to the mean a little bit. So I think the line is just incorrect at this moment. So I think back in a road underdog that's getting 80% of the bets. We've said it before, don't do it. And this is another spot that you take the Saints because it's the sharper side.
That's what I'm saying. If Derek Carr was cleared to play, and he still may play, we're expecting him not to. We're expecting Jameis. I don't think he's been completely ruled out of this game. But if Derek Carr was playing, like, where do you think this line is? Like 4.5 or 5?
Not much higher. I would say probably like 3.5, 4.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I question Jameis too. But when you look at and I think Kamara comes back this week too.
Because I do think it was 3.5 before they even played Monday night. Like on the look ahead, if you looked at what the spread was set at, it was 3.5 with them thinking that Derek Carr was playing. So I don't know. It's just one of those division games, and I don't know. Maybe they think it'll just be close, but I think
Tampa's done well in this against the Saints. Yeah.
Well, I was looking at against the spread, and I think in the last 10, the Saints have actually won eight wins against the spread and 2. So I don't know. I mean, they play them well.
That's what I meant. Is the Saints has done good against Tampa.
Yeah. So I really don't know, but we're going with the Saints in this one, no doubt. But next up, we got the Vikings at the Panthers. This Panthers team, they let me down last week. So did the Vikings.
You love them.
No, I don't love them. I just have to play the number.
Your Panthers, Texans, Broncos.
Everyone's so disgusted by them. I have to take the spread. That's just what it is. But Vikings blew it late against the Chargers too for me. So these two teams, they're in the dumpster for me. But I'm going back to the wheel. Give me the Panthers. It's the sharp side once again. Vikings have nothing to play for. They only have to tank for the top 10 pick in the draft. +4 is where the line has gotten to. Give me the Panthers. There's no reason to take the Vikings as road favorites right here.
Yeah, the Panthers are a weird team. It's like the first 2 weeks they played solid defense, and then finally I seen some offense start to click last week against Seattle, and then the defense just looked atrocious. I'm right there with you. This is actually a double unit play for me. I love the Panthers in the spot +4.5. It's Minnesota can all last year, even this year, and they haven't won these games, but they can't stay away from these one score games. It always comes down to the nitty gritty, the last drive of the game or something. It's just who they are. The defense isn't good enough to put teams away, and they haven't been able to run the ball this year, so it kind of just all relies on Kirk Cousins, and he does have a good receiving core. But yeah, I kind of hope that I don't think Bryce Young is cleared to play for my play. I kind of hope that they stick with Andy Dalton because the offense looked a lot better. But yeah, give me Panthers +4.5. Like I said, double unit play for sure.
Next up, we got the Rams at the Colts. I will say both of these teams, they're a bit better than everyone expected. At the start of the season, these two teams were basically considered to be in the bottom 5 maybe, and I don't know if they're there. I think they're more middle of the pack for sure. Tell us where you're at on this one.
This one hurts, man. Because the public is coming in on the Rams +1.5, and that's who I'm taking too. I'm taking Sean McVay to bounce back. I'm taking this Colts team. It's like they're on a little bit of a Cinderella story to start off the year. They're not 3-0, but still, like, if you watch that Ravens game, every call, every ball bounced their way, it's just Shane. I told you going into the season, like, the Philadelphia's offense early, you would see them missing Shane Steichen, and I thought that he'd be a good head coach, and I think he's doing well. Anthony Richardson, I think, is going to get the go in this game, but Matthew Stafford, when he has a little bit of protection, he is he just had a bad showing on Monday night, but he's a very accurate quarterback. Even though with Cooper Kupp's still out of this game, right?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
He's on the IR list. Yeah, so this is game 4. I think you have to be out for 4 weeks. So yeah, he should be out of this one too. But yeah, but still, no, I like the Rams and Sean McVay to bounce back. It was actually a really bad coaching performance from Sean McVay Monday night, and you just never see that. So I think he has something to kind of prove to himself, to his team, because he was like, go back and look. He's like, man, I didn't have to do much to beat that Bengals team, and
yeah.
I didn't try to run the ball like we've been having success doing. I think he goes back and he's able to, and this, I'll make one more point. This Colts secondary has been playing bad all year, so even though it's not a lot of, home names, when you look at that Rams offense, it's a bunch of people that everybody just went in fantasy and snatched up after the first week. They're playing good ball, but I think that Sean McVay is kind of the reason they lost Monday night, and he's not going to be the reason they lose to the Colts. So yeah, give me the Rams and the points, and it's a normal unit size play.
Can't believe you're taking the Rams when you know that 80% of the bets are just flying in on
Sean McVay.
He said Sean McVay. Anthony, you're like you said, Anthony Richardson potentially starting in this one. I don't know if that's good or not. Like Gardner Minshew looked pretty good as the backup, so that's another one of those Bryce Young situations. But hey, he runs the ball, so that offense is definitely more dynamic when he's in there. So I'm going to take the Colts. They're gelling a little bit more than I think everyone expected, and I think they keep it rolling here at home. The Rams, they did everything to lose that game. I don't see how they lost to the Bengals with all those offensive penalties and all those mishaps that the Bengals offense had, and they still find a way to lose. So I just think the Colts are gelling a little bit more, and they got that tough win against the Ravens in overtime, and that really lights a spark in the team and lets them know that, hey, we're here, we can beat anyone. So I think they can take this game away from the Rams at home. So give me the Colts -1.
And I don't think it's a bad play on your side. I mean, when these young offensive minds, they go against somebody like Sean or Kyle Shanahan, they want to prove something to them. So Anthony Richardson or Gardner Minshew, like I said, they've just got kind of lucky in some of their 2 wins, and they're playing good ball and they're playing for their coach. They're playing hard, but as far as the rosters go, or the quarterbacks go, just give me Matt Stafford.
Fair enough. Next up, we got the Steelers at the Texans. I'll let you take the reins on this one since you love the Steelers.
Yeah, I do not love the Steelers, and I am not betting on the Steelers. I'm taking the public home dog in the Texans because C.J. Stroud is on all of a sudden Rookie of the Year alert.
Thanks to me. I pointed that out.
Thanks to you and everybody else this week. He's all people's been talking about since Sunday. He's playing good. I mean, he looks like he's in control of the offense. He's what you want your rookie quarterback to look like, especially with a defensive coach. So he's making the right reads, the right plays. Very, not like Zach Wilson or something. So yeah, give me the Texans +3 here. It's where it's the public side. I do feel like it's just a regular unit play, but this Steelers offense is still not good. I don't care if Canada's the offensive coordinator, head quarterback coach. I don't care if he makes himself the running back coach, receiver coach. He's still not good. This offense is not good. And yeah, they may look decent against this Texans defense, but 3 points at home, I just think it's going to be a close game. I think either team could, kick a game-winning field goal and win this game. So I'm definitely happy to take the points here in a normal unit play.
I feel pretty good flipping off of the Steelers right here, especially because I've been taking them the past 2 games when everyone is off of them. Taking the Steelers.
You like taking them in prime time.
Prime time. It does matter. It does matter. They have pedigree under the lights. Even Kenny Pickett and his small hands, he gets it done. It's as bad as you hate it.
Eat some more pedigree with them small hands.
I like them sitting as favorites on the road, and that's the time when you fade them. So you take the Texans in this spot. I think the Texans are actually. It's odd to say that they have a passing offense and they're sitting at +3 at home versus the Steelers. I don't know. It's been probably several years since we've said something like that. So oddly enough, we are on the public side of the home dog Texans. Yet another week we take the Texans. But that's it for all the early games. Make sure you tune in to the prime time games where we cover the rest of the Week 4 slate. Subscribe and click the bell, which turns notifications on, and you are notified whenever we drop a video. If you enjoyed this week's content, please drop a like on the video. It helps us out a lot. And thanks for tuning in. Let's cover the spread as always. Peace.
Peace.